You're listening to the Membership Geeks podcast, bringing you proven practical tips and advice from the leading experts on growing a successful membership business.
Well, hello there, membershipers. Welcome to a very special episode of the Membership Geeks podcast. I'm your host, Mike Morrison, Chief Geek and founder of both Membership Geeks and Membership Academy. And the reason this is a special episode in a month of special episodes is that today we are looking back at the past year of Membership Academy. This has become a bit of a tradition. Every single year since we very first launched Membership Academy all the way back in 2015, when it's come to our anniversary, there has been a year in review episode in which we've kind of given a really detailed, raw, honest, no holds barred look at how that year has gone for us in the membership, in the business as a whole, what successes we've had, what plans we've implemented, what plans we are looking at for the future, what went well, what hasn't. And it's become one of my favorite things to do because, not only are we membership experts and not only am I the membership geek, the membership guy, sharing insights and tips and all that good stuff, but also we are membership owners ourselves. Membership Academy is our membership about memberships. And so in addition to the stuff we teach, a lot of what you, our audience, and especially those of you who are part of Membership Academy, actually get the most value from and the most insight from is looking at our own journey and experience as membership owners and watching what we do. Membership Academy has always kind of been a bit of a living case study. And so I try to take as many opportunities as possible to show you behind the scenes, to take you inside what is happening with the business. And a lot of people, when they say that they're going to do this, what they really mean is they're going to show off how fantastically well they're doing and then sell you the secret formula to emulating their success. But that's not really what I'm about. I'm more about showing you the realities, ugly sides and all. So today I'm very, very excited because this is the 10th anniversary of Membership Academy. That is just crazy. We've been doing our thing for a decade now. This time 10 years ago, we were putting the finishing touches, we were scrambling, we were dealing with major tech meltdowns that you can hear about if you go back to the review episodes we did when we first launched. It was a nightmare getting everything together on time, but we pulled it off, and here we are 10 years later, and we've been blessed to have shaped the trajectory of thousands and thousands of membership sites and helped so many people to embrace this wonderful world. So let's talk about this last year, because honestly, it's been a mixed one. It has been a bit of a mixed one here at Membership Academy. We've done some fantastic things. We've also had to make some tough calls. We've had a few false starts. We brought back fun, exciting things. We are changing up the Academy offering again for the next 10 years. And so there's a lot to talk about. I believe back at our anniversary episode last year, we talked about the fact we just announced that Retain Live was coming back. So this is our 2-day conference that we run here in my hometown, Newcastle upon Tyne in England. And it is a conference aimed at people who have their memberships up and running, who are wanting to learn what it takes to grow, to scale, to solidify their business. So it's all focused on membership growth. And we've got fantastic speakers, we've got masterminding, networking, lots of fun stuff happening. And a year ago, we just announced that we were doing this. So we'd announced that after, it had been 5 years. We've only done this event once. It was in 2019. It went phenomenally well, and everyone has been begging to see it come back ever since. So we just made that announcement. Sales went really well. It was so well received. I did a lot of fun kind of teasers building up to it. We did a whole video game based animation teaser campaign on Instagram. I did some fun stuff in the Insta stories to kind of do the whole reveal of the event, and it was just a lot of fun, A lot of great feedback, a lot of people booking their tickets in. And yeah, that's been coming together piece by piece. But it's been interesting this time because anyone who's been listening for a while might remember how much I hated the whole experience of putting on a conference. So why the hell did I do it again? Well, I hated everything about planning, selling, running an event, except from the 2 days of the event itself. They still rank amongst the favorite things I've ever done. The buzz, the energy, and actually seeing the people in the room and being in the mix and having those conversations, meeting people who have been members for years and I've never met in the flesh. The great speakers we had, that was one of my favorite things I've ever done. The experience of actually being at the event, running the event. I hated the planning of it. I hated the prep because back then we didn't really have a team and so much was handled by me. You know, I built the website, I did all the design work, I even put together the intro video, and I've never done video animation. I'm in an animated video for the whole conference. Like I was planning out, the lighting, timing and stuff with all the music. It was crazy. I took on way too much. This is what happens when you're a little bit neurospicy. But a lot of that was because I'd never done it before and we didn't really have a team in place. This time around is very different. It's a whole different experience. I've got a fantastic team around me. We are working with some of the same partners we worked with last time in terms of event planning. But last time, the event company we worked with, they were just involved mostly with the on-the-day stuff, and they were amazing. This time, they're more involved with the prep, the planning and piecing everything together. So they're carrying a lot of the load. Beth, our head of growth, has been really leading the charge on logistics and pulling everything together, speaker communications, all of that. And yeah, I'm kind of just sitting back, letting it all happen. You know, I get to approve stuff. I'm inputting on the schedule. Obviously, I selected the speakers and all of that, but the actual work, the hard work, thankfully, my fantastic team are taking care of so much of it. And so really, all that I'm now needing to focus on, and I've been focusing on for the last couple of weeks, is preparing my talks. Because last time around, obviously, Callie Willows, my previous co-founder, was involved, and we split the workload in terms of presentations. So we had an opening keynote that we did together, and then we each had 2 short sessions. Now, the overwhelming feedback on the speaking spots last time was that they wanted more from the membership geeks, which now there's only one membership geek. And so that means not only are we kind of giving more of me, which is what people asked for, but it is just me who can do it. There's no second person to share the load there. So I'm doing a bunch of talks. I'm doing an opening and a closing keynote. And so I've been hard at work on writing those. And I've got some fantastic talks lined up that I'm excited about delivering. And I'm just looking forward to being back on that stage. We finished the big push on ticket sales now. I'm happy with how many people are coming. And I'm glad to not have to sell an event anymore, because I spoke about this last time. As a product, an event is a bit boring to me as an item to sell, as something to sell, because there's not that much to it. Everything happens on the day, and you can show people videos, you can show people photos, you can get testimonials and all of that, but really it is about the on-the-day experience, and there's not a great deal about what you're selling that changes over the year. We've been promoting Retain Live for a year now. I'm bored of promoting it. So I was very happy when we've closed ticket sales. We announced a virtual ticket option, which has been popular, and we'll be pushing that a little bit more in the coming weeks. But I was really glad to be able to kind of draw a line, close the ticket sales, and just focus on what we can do to make our plans even better for the people who come along now. So I'm glad to be out of the sales stage of this. I'm excited for what is lined up for the great speakers we've got. And yeah, I just hope my talks go well, and I hope everyone enjoys it as much as they did last time. So that's been a big part of this year, honestly. And it's always a little strange and to be honest, a little distracting sometimes to have to shift your focus between the membership, promoting the membership, selling the membership, and a conference, especially when I know that the fact we're running it in the UK and we're running it in Newcastle is a challenge for some people. The fact it's an in-person event, not an online event, then that's a challenge. And so it does get a little bit much in terms of how many things you've got to juggle promoting. So I am glad I've been able to just refocus now on the Academy. We've got some great things lined up I'm going to talk about. But that's not to say that we've taken our eye off the ball with the Academy. We've done some amazing things over the last year. I think because part of me was kind of thinking, I know that the event needs a lot of attention, but I want to make sure we keep pouring our main attention, our priority is centered around the Academy, as it always has been. And so maybe I overcompensate because we've done some pretty cool things in the last 12 months for our Academy members. Now, one of the big things that we've done this year is we brought back the live membership masterclasses. So these have been one of my favorite things to do in the past, where we put together really kind of highly strategic, more advanced workshops on hyper-specific tactics and strategies or key areas for membership owners, predominantly centered around growth. Again, it's that thing of, we do such a good job, and in a lot of ways, it's a bit easier to help people start a membership. But everything opens up once your membership's already running, right? The challenges are becoming more and more unique. They become bigger. The challenges somebody who is 5 years in is different from someone who's 5 months in. And so, the scope of what membership owners need support with and need help with once they've launched is much broader and much wider. And so our membership masterclasses, we started doing these in 2021, and they are focused on those growth focused membership owners who have everything they need to have in place. They have the fundamentals, they've got a funnel, they've got a good membership setup, but they're needing to take it to a next level. And so we ran these masterclasses, really practical, really tactical, lots of resources to go with them. But we stopped doing them a few years ago. And honestly, I don't remember why. I could make up an excuse, could make up a reason, but I don't remember why. I think some of it was because we introduced some other features, some other content we wanted to focus on to help people in that growth segment. I don't remember why. They were always popular, and I don't recall why we stopped doing them. They took a lot of work, but that wouldn't have been why we stopped doing them. But anyway, I've kind of had an itch to bring them back. And like with anything, we need to be confident that there'll be enough subject material, that there's enough things we want to teach. So we brought them back, done some fantastic ones already this year. So one of my favorites, and one of the favorites based on feedback, was a masterclass we did on optimized offboarding. So this is having a strategic cancellation process that actually saves subscriptions from people who were going to leave by turning things around, giving them alternatives. So we break down this really specific process you can use to improve retention and minimize cancellations. We've done an extremely important one on mindset and mental health for membership owners. Did this to coincide with Mental Health Awareness Month, and that was so well received. It shared really practical, real world based techniques and systems for handling workload, avoiding burnout, what to do when things get a bit too much, keeping on top of your mental health and all that sort of stuff. Great workshop on utilizing AI for membership, so actual applications of AI. And we've got some fantastic guests coming in. So by the time this episode's gone out, we've had Krista Miller come and do a session on utilizing online summits specifically to either launch or grow an existing membership business. We've got Teresa Heath-Waring coming in later in the year. We had Martin Huntback from Score App, who works with Daniel Priestley, who did a great workshop on advanced lead generation techniques and using quizzes as part of your funnel. So amazing stuff, and I'm so glad we made the decision to bring these back. They've been so popular, and it just gives us that way of of helping people with that higher level stuff, that more advanced stuff, those proven strategies that are going to move the needle for them. So that was a big decision to bring those back, because they do take a lot of work, but it's been worthwhile. Something else I was so excited about, the start of the year, finally releasing Member-Only version 2.0. So Member-Only is our WordPress theme, which is designed for membership websites. So it's a theme that really is largely focused on what is inside a membership. So most themes you get out there, they'll maybe have templates for a sales page, they'll have templates for lead pages and for standard pages of a website, but there's nothing really that is designed for the inside of a membership. And when we first created the member-only theme back in 2016, really what we did was we just took a couple of the layouts of our own membership site. So the dashboard layout, the layout of our content library, and the layout of our courses and lessons. We just took those and put those in the theme and made it available to people. And it was all supposed to kind of be this fairly lightweight, fairly simple thing. It's just a nice little freebie that lets you have a site that kind of looked a little bit like the inside of ours. But over the years, Member-Only has become a behemoth. It is so powerful, so awesome. It's got so many just incredible features because I've just been adding to it. So this has been getting built. It's in the 8th or 9th year now of development, and I've just been adding features, improving it. A lot of it based on member feedback. So people would say, hey, it'd be cool if it did this. And then I'd look and kind of say, well, oh, actually, that would be quite cool. And I can do that. And so it kind of became a little personal project. In my former life, I was a web developer. We don't do anything like that for clients now and haven't done for a decade. So this is kind of my outlet because I love writing code. I started learning to write code as a hobby. It calms me. It's a bit like building Lego, which again is something else that I do as a hobby. So it's a pastime. It chills me out. I love coding. So Member-Only has become my passion project. And of course, it is available to our Academy members on the pro level. And yeah, over the years, it's just become so powerful. It's got a built-in learning management system. It's got so many awesome just quality of life upgrades for membership owners. It doesn't handle the membership protection side and the payments because you've got plugins like MemberPress that do that fantastically well. But yeah, it kind of became this big beast, but I'd always wanted to take it to a new level, right? I wanted to totally refresh the design. I wanted to bring in some more powerful features. I wanted to add cool things like certificates. And so, yeah, I set aside some time over the Christmas holidays to just power through all the things I've been wanting to do with the member-only theme. And I released the 2.0 update. This is the official big update back in January. And yeah, it's gone down very well. A lot of people are very happy. It's a fresh new look for the theme, but also just some awesome new features bolted onto it too. So yeah, I was really glad to get that out because so much has been going on. Because we've had Retain Live to focus on, because obviously since my co-founder stepped away back at the start of 2024, I've not really been able to dedicate time to the little extras, right? So much time is spent focusing on the core, making sure that our members are catered to, that the business is solid, that I've not really had the time for the extra little bits and pieces for the passion projects, for the cool little bonuses like member-only. So the fact I was able to do that was not only something that was good for us as a business, good for our members, but also for me personally. That felt really good to be able to actually get back to doing things like that again. It was so gratifying. And again, the feedback that we got, the reactions were fantastic too. Something else pretty cool that we did, we actually launched a member-only podcast for Academy members. That's something I wanted to do and I've been curious about doing for a while. Obviously, we've got this show here. This is episode 438. That's a lot of episodes, and a lot of our Academy members listen to the main podcast. So I've always liked the idea of having an exclusive podcast just for Academy members, but I wasn't really sure what to do with it because well, I've got this podcast, right? And this is where I share tips. This is where I share advice and stuff like that. But since we brought back the member Q&As last year, again, a lot of feedback on that's been positive, but we did have a lot of people kind of saying, hey, like, could we just get the Q&As as a podcast? Because obviously, if we're doing our job right, we're helping people be successful in their memberships. There'll come points where their membership is so successful and so busy that they don't have time to log into the academy, or they don't have time to attend a Q&A or a workshop live, or even watch the replay. And so the podcast gives a way of us getting great academy content directly into the ears of our members without them needing to come to us all of the time. And yeah, we're about 40 episodes in. Hang on, no, that can't be right. I think I've just completely butchered that. There's no way we're 40 episodes in. No, we're about 30 episodes in now to the official Academy podcast, and it has mostly been used for distributing the Q&As. So the recordings of the Q&As, they're 1 hour long, so we split them in two so that it's not too much. And yeah, we released them after we've done the live ones. We've had some bonus sessions as well, some extra episodes where I've shared news and updates, sneak peeks of what's coming up with the Academy, and what my thinking's been about it. Fun little one-off episodes, like I did an episode about a music festival I went to, and some of the it was a bit tongue-in-cheek about what I learned about memberships from going to a metal festival. So yeah, it's just been really fun to have that as an exclusive thing we offer to Academy members. And one of the main reasons we're being able to do it is thanks to our podcast host, Captivate, which is, by the way, phenomenal. This isn't a sponsored plug or anything like that, but we switched to Captivate a few years ago, and the tools that it gives you, including the ability to do private member-only podcasts, are fantastic. But they, I believe it was last year, nailed down, so they managed to sort out an integration with MemberPress, which is the WordPress membership plugin that we use, favorite membership plugin on the market. But they got an integration sorted out so that it's pretty easy now to hook someone up with a unique link, a unique subscription link to a private podcast based on whether they are a member of our membership. So yeah, I've been really happy to get that out there. It's listened to by a good portion of our member base. I believe about 20% of our members actually not just subscribe to it. There's at least 55-60% of our member base are subscribed, but a good 20 to 25% actually listen to each episode too, which is a huge uptake compared to other things that we have in the membership, and compared to the sort of adoption rate you'd expect with things like a single feature, especially something like a podcast, because not everyone listens to podcasts. Not everyone needs the podcast to keep up to date on the live Q&A. So yeah, that was a big thing we brought in as well. And I'm kind of toying with some different ideas of how to make that even more valuable and even more useful. So no, that's a fun little thing. So yeah, lots of cool things that have happened so far this year inside the Academy. Things happening in the business too. We have hired a fantastic virtual assistant by the name of Steph. Steph, if anyone has contacted our customer support or been in the community, you've most likely chatted to Steph at some point. She's just been an absolute workhorse, an absolute powerhouse in helping with the day-to-day stuff that we do here in the Academy, especially as we've been stepping certain things up, as we've been bringing things like the masterclasses back, when we brought back the Q&As, when we brought back in the podcast, all these things come with extra workload. And I think if we didn't have the resource in the business now through hiring Steph to take care of that, then it would either be something I'd have to do, or it would be something that Beth, our head of growth, would need to do, which, I've already piled a lot of stuff on her as well, because she's looking after the retain event, big things that are happening in the Academy. So yeah, bringing Steph in actually to kind of round out that team has been really great, especially because Hannah, our community manager, is off taking a break right now. So of course, we had a lot of live calls that Hannah was involved with. Beth is now covering for those, which means we need other cover for other stuff. So yeah, we've been experiencing things as a team, but I've just loved how amazing the team has been at actually not just kind of picking up the load from the extra stuff we're doing and from Hannah not being around until next year. It's not just picking up, it's not just getting through, it's actually just really thriving and stepping things up. Team have been fantastic. It's great to have Steph on board now as well, alongside Zoe, our great copywriter, Beth, who I've mentioned, our head of growth, and Tom, our phenomenal graphic designer and videographer. So yeah, I've been doing more outside of the membership as well. So again, now things are starting to kind of settle. Then things on my sort of personal brand, the consulting side of things, are being explored a little further. We've been offering power hours, which are just kind of 1 hour focused consult calls with myself. No tie-in, no commitment, no expectation that you'll need another one. Just book in an hour, get it paid for, come along, and we just hammer through whatever it is you're stuck on, whatever you need my advice on, and yeah, you get stuff done. I get a load of stuff done in that hour. And I found that that's been really fun for me, really changed my outlook on whether I want to do anything in terms of coaching or consulting, because that's something that I kind of put in the past. We used to do it with our clients. That led to us starting Membership Academy. And for me, that was something that was in the past. But I've really, really enjoyed doing it. It's so energizing. It's so gratifying. And the people I've had a chance to work with are fantastic. And it's incredible to see them following up, executing, implementing, and seeing results as a part of it. So that's something that will be expanded on. It's something that I think I'll be exploring even further in the future. So a little more availability for these calls, because while I was unsure as to whether I wanted to actually do much in the way of consulting, I've really limited how many spots were available for people to book in. That's going to change. I'll be opening those up a little bit more and be exploring some other things centered around my personal brand, specifically around retention strategy and working more closely with some companies on just the high-end, real top-level strategic aspects of their member retention strategy. So lots of exciting things on that front as well. It's not all been smooth sailing, of course. I think pretty much anyone who's been putting out content within the last 12 months to 24 months has seen massive shifts. Every major website, I think anyone blogging has seen a drop in organic traffic via search, because a lot has been changing in the world of search. The prominence of AI in the search results, along with things like featured snippets and all that sort of stuff. Most search engines have been moving to a zero-click model where they just give people the answer on the search engine result page rather than try to get them to click through to another website. And so a lot of people are seeing a massive drop in traffic. And so we've been diving into other areas. We've been doing more with video on our YouTube channel. We've been experimenting with different things across social. We've stepped things up with regular webinars, testing various ad strategies. So as with anything in marketing, you can't take everything for granted. You can't just rest on your laurels. We've done very well from organic search-driven traffic previously. There has been that dip. It's forced us to kind of pivot, to adapt, to try more things, experiment more, explore collaborations and partnerships more. I'm getting out onto more podcasts, doing more joint ventures with people and taking part in other people's summits. But also just to refine our content, to step it up, to look at, what do the search engines want now? And also, what do the AI channels, what do the LLMs like ChatGPT, what do they want? Because that is now going to be a new source of traffic for a lot of people. And so we've been really investing time and attention into that, and tweaking and testing. And already we're starting to see organic traffic from search is steadily going back up. We're now starting to see traffic come through from AI chatbots as well. So, ChatGPT and Perplexity and stuff like that, they're now sending traffic to us. So, yeah, this is the never-ending roller coaster of marketing and running a business online, particularly as it centers around having a content marketing focus within your marketing efforts. We have had a few false starts as well in terms of stuff that we planned, stuff that we had kind of gone a certain way down the process of executing on, and then pivoted, then, had to make the call to change course, to scrap a particular project. One of those was earlier on in the year. So obviously our membership roadmap is such a huge part of what we offer and what's been inside the academy. This is our magnum opus. It's our signature course on starting a membership, and it's been available to academy members just as part of their membership. Of course, last week, you'll have heard the big announcement. We've now made this available for free to everyone. I'm going to talk about that a little later. But one of the things we were going to do around about March time is we were going to do a live delivery of the roadmap. So for an additional fee on top of the Academy membership, it wasn't going to be a huge amount. There was going to be an option to take part in a live delivered cohort-driven roadmap. So we deliver the course to you. Of course, if you just want to do it on your own, you could still go on the membership. You could do it on demand. But the whole idea was we would have the schedule for the modules being taught to you. And with each module, so each week there'd be a module, there would be additional support. There'd be Q&As on that module's topics. There would be, when we came to a week in which we were talking about the marketing side of things. So you were designing sales pages, landing pages. We'd have like design clinics with our graphic designer. We'd have a copy clinic with our copywriter. So the idea being that you can just access the material anytime as a member, but for this launch, this period with the live roadmap, you would be having it taught by me, supported by the rest of the Academy team, by some guest experts. You'd be part of a group cohort who would be kind of your study buddies. You'd have that accountability. You'd have a little private discussion group you could be part of. We do mixers and really just tap into that group aspect. And it was something I was really excited about, something we've talked about doing for a long, long time, because we know that the membership roadmap course is the single best, most comprehensive, most practical, useful, and proven path to launching a successful membership that will stay the distance, right? That won't just have, a pretty decent launch and then it all just fizzled out. We know how good our membership roadmap is, but obviously the way that it's currently delivered is a solo experience. You work your way through the roadmap. You have the community, you can ask questions, of course, you have all the benefits of the community in the academy, but it is just different when you have a dedicated cohort working through any educational experience. And I know that some of the other programs that are out there that teach how to start a membership, which objectively, as objectively as you want to believe I'm being, I just know are nowhere near what we teach. But what they do have is that cohort aspect to it. And so we wanted to be able to give people that at an affordable, accessible price. But we started down that road. We'd scheduled it in. We'd put together a promotional campaign for it. And then we changed our mind. We pulled it for a combination of reasons. One of them was simply just too much was being piled on. We were promoting too many things, and so this wouldn't have been given the attention that it needed to be given, both in terms of spreading the word and making noise and kind of promoting this to people, but also just in terms of the team's availability. I knew this would just end up burning them out, and also kind of start to seed the idea of, well, we could just give the roadmap away for free. right? Which again, I'll talk a little bit about later. So we'd already kind of started to see that idea. And yeah, that led to the decision of, listen, it's one too many things. It's maybe not what we want to do from a long-term perspective. I think it was just one of those ideas I'd had for so long that, like, because we talked about doing this for years and years, and it just never managed to happen. Just, you know, the day-to-day running the membership, it was never a big priority to do this. But yeah, I think it was just that thing of, I've always kind of had that, you know, well, we need to do this because we've been talking about doing it for so long. But when we look down at, okay, what will the next year look like? What big moves are we going to make? Where does this actually fit? It didn't make sense in terms of our bigger plans, our longer term plans to make changes and upgrades to the academy, to make the membership roadmap free. It just didn't slot in, it didn't fit. And so we shelved that idea. But again, that was a bit of a false start for us. Also a false start with writing another book. So I've written 3 books now, one on marketing, 2 on memberships. But the one I did on marketing kind of started as a blog post that got out of hand. It's like a 101 ways to market your business on a budget. It's no longer in print because it was 2012. So obviously everything in there is ancient. The second book was Member Machine, which was where we took our 30-day challenge for starting a membership and turned it into a book. So again, that was repurposing existing materials and just writing a little bit extra around it. The third book was collaborative, and it was telling the stories and case studies from the Behind the Membership podcast. So again, it was tapping into existing material, but I wanted to write my book. I wanted to write my proper book, written from scratch and like designed to be a book. None of the 3 that I've been involved with before started life as a book. I wanted to write this for a long time, and my problem is there's a book I wanted to write, and then there's another book that I wanted to write, which wasn't on memberships. It was more around mental health and entrepreneurship. And so kind of started going down the rabbit hole on both of them, and again had to pull back. So again, I count this as a bit of a false start because, you know, started talking about it seriously, started looking at the realities of being able to do it, started setting aside time, started writing, got the structures and everything, and then just had to stop myself because I knew exactly what would happen. I'd write these books, I'd kind of go, phew, that's done. And then I wouldn't promote them properly. They would just kind of be another thing. I'd move on to the next thing. That was kind of okay for the other books that I've written. Like, I don't expect to become a best-selling author. I don't expect to make a fortune on the back of books. I want to write books to get knowledge out there, but also because they are door openers. They create opportunities. It's good to have a book for your credibility. But I already have those, right? If I'm going to do this properly, I'm going to do it properly. I'm going to go through publisher. I'm going to actually have a proper plan to leverage it. So yeah, I had to kind of nip myself in the bud there, with a few stern words too from Beth about biting off more than we could chew. I got so wrapped up in the idea of writing a book and surprise releasing it at Retain Live, because that's what we did in 2019. So I kind of wanted that callback, right? And this is how it ended up being talked about as 2 books. Because in 2019, there were 2 membership geeks, and we surprise launched 1 book. And Neurospicy me got in my brain this visual of being on stage in September this year saying, well, hey, back in 2019, those of you who were here, you might remember that me and Callie stood on stage and we announced that we'd written a book. Now, I wanted to top that. So what's better than 2 people surprise launching 1 book? 1 person surprise launching 2 books. And that was my reasoning for why I was trying to get 2 books written by September. And that is not a valid business strategy. That is not valid logic. That is, yeah, a little silly and a little ADHD. So, no, I had to stop. So neither of those books will be coming. in 2025. Unless, now I'm talking about them, I could maybe squeeze one out. No. Because we've got a lot going on. I've been doing a lot more speaking over the last year. I'm really enjoying getting back out on the speaking circuit. It was always an important thing for me to speak at events because, I'm one of a very small number of voices in the online membership world. So I always feel it's important to actually get out there and, almost evangelize for the membership model. But I just like being on stage. I love speaking. And so I've been doing a lot more of it. I spoke at a fantastic event pretty locally, actually, down in Leeds, of an event called Connect Up, which was a really interesting one because it wasn't, the online business crowd. It was more local businesses, but all doing fantastic things and all very receptive to the talk I did on how to leverage community for the online learning experience. I've been involved in a bunch of different online summits. I'm involved with, actually, by the time this goes out, I'll have just taken part for the third time, I believe, second or third time, in the summit ran by Krista Miller, Membership Momentum Summit, who has shared her insights and her tactics on running summits for memberships inside the academy as well. So we collaborated on that. I'm going to be speaking at the Long Haul Leader Summit down in Cambridge, run by my good friend Chris Ducker. That'll be in November, and there's a few other events and opportunities that are being explored as well that I can't talk about just yet. But I'm just excited at the prospect of speaking in front of more audiences. It's so energizing. I really enjoy doing it, and it pays off. Obviously, when anyone joins the academy, we ask, where did you find us? Where did you hear about us? And still, people come in saying, I saw you talk at, the Upreneur Summit in 2017. When I was down in Leeds for this event in June, again, there were people who saw me speak at Atomicon, which is a big conference here in Newcastle. They saw me speak there last year, and they'd remembered. They remember what the talk was about. They had rewatched it and stuff like that. So again, that all adds up. It all helps build both the personal brand and also drive people to the membership and to the content. So yeah, more speaking on the horizon, more events as an attendee. Like, I'm enjoying just getting back out there, attending events, especially in the UK. I'm looking forward to going to Adventures in Marketing next February, to Atomicon next June. And there's a few other UK events. We're getting more and more events, particularly more niche events. I know there's events on video marketing, there's events on AI, both ran by a guy called Matt Hughes that I've been looking at. There's a great LinkedIn event that I think is happening later on this year, and also looking stateside at what events are going on. I'm going across to the subscription show in New York, where my good friend Robbie Kelman Baxter is going to be keynoting. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to getting out there and speaking at events, but also just attending, because you still learn great stuff. I went to Adventures in Marketing this year. It was a good event. Atomicon was a great event. Ryan Dice, Jeff Ram, fantastic speakers, such great takeaways. Laura Belgray as well, amazing keynote talk on email marketing. So yeah, getting out there, learning, but mostly meeting other people, new people, as well as some of you fantastic folks who either listen to the podcast or you're part of the membership. And I'll be looking to do more member meetups as I go around, because I miss doing those. So yeah, lots happening, lots going on. Definitely don't have time to write a book, mostly because we are making some significant changes to Membership Academy as we move into our 10th year. Is this our 10th? Yes, we've finished our 10th year, have we? We've reached the 10-year mark, so this is the first year of the new decade. This gets confusing, right? 10th anniversary, but to the end of the 10th year. Correct. I don't know, I'm getting old. So, of course, the first big thing is we have made our signature membership roadmap course completely free to everyone. No fancy funnels, no tricks, no gimmicks, no hidden upsells. Our absolute best work, our signature framework, our pathway, our in-depth practical course to help you plan, build, and launch a membership that will be successful is completely free to enroll in at membership.roadmap.com. And so that is a huge, huge move. I talked about the reasoning for it, the mission that I have, where I'm just fired up to really just strap a rocket onto this membership movement. And, you know, thinking back to 2015, there was, I can count on one hand, the people who were advocating evangelically about memberships. We shaped the online membership space and we started this membership movement. This next decade is when it just catapults, it goes to the moon. And so that mission to help 10,000 new memberships successfully launch in the next year is a big, big part of why we've made membership.roadmap.com completely free to everyone. Now, of course, we're not just going to make our signature course free without upping our game for our academy members too. Because of course we are just shaking things up, because there's more people out there teaching the basics of memberships. A lot of those people came through Membership Academy, they learned what to do, they started a membership, they had some success, and now they are working with people on helping them with the basics of their membership, and that's fantastic. A rising tide lifts all ships. However, we are changing the game again because more people have that basic knowledge, which is amazing. So we want to help them with that next layer and that next layer and that next layer. So we will help you start that membership completely free through our membership roadmap. And then once you've launched, that's where the real work begins. And that is where Membership Academy helps you to thrive, survive, scale, so that you can be celebrating your 10th anniversary of your membership. And as part of that, we are shaking things up within the Academy itself. So we brought in a whole new curriculum for what happens after launch. So we've got some fantastic growth education. So the roadmap continues after launch through key stages of growth, through getting more sales, through retaining more members, through managing and running your membership day to day. So that growth phase, we have 3 different tracks, 3 new modules on the more advanced sales retention and operations module as part of that growth phase. We then have the evolve phase. So this is where you scale your membership. So again, you take that membership up to a new level with new revenue streams, optimizing and streamlining what you're doing, increasing your member lifetime value. But then we go beyond that as well to how you evolve your business. So how to plan for the future, plan for exits, plan for continuation if you want to pass your business on to your kids, or, you know, make sure you've got disaster planning taken care of. So all that real big picture, long-term, more advanced stuff that nobody's talking about, this is now coming in through the Academy. So we're actually rolling out all of this high-level growth-focused content. We're rolling it out live over the coming months. If you're an Academy member, you'll already have seen the schedule of what is on the agenda, and we're going to be delivering this material and giving extra support and having that cohort, those study groups, going through the brand new growth modules and the scaling and the evolve modules as they are released. So not only are you getting this incredible new growth content, but you're going to get that additional support, that additional networking, the hand-holding, the accountability to help you execute on the absolute latest cutting-edge strategies as they are released. And so these next few months in particular are the best time to be an Academy member, because you get your hands on the stuff that is working for continuous large-scale membership growth the second it comes out. We've also added a whole bunch of new stuff into the Academy as well. Some little changes that actually, you know, just make sense. So our monthly member missions, they're now all available on demand. These used to be dripped out month to month. They're now all on demand. We have a brand new AI prompts library. So, you know, custom specific written prompts to capitalize on the various AI tools that are out there in the best possible way to augment and benefit your business. We have a library available for all of those. We've made updates to our email templates, the copy and paste email templates and resources that we have there. Yeah, we just added a whole bunch of really cool stuff into the Academy, and there's more coming up in the future that I can't totally tell you about yet. As well as somewhere off on the horizon before the end of the year, there will be a price increase for the Academy as well. So if you were considering joining, now is the time to join, because if you join now, you do lock in that price that you join at. It'll always be that price, even when we do put the price up in a couple of months' time. So yeah, lots of big shifts happening with the Academy in the last quarter of this year. And of course, when I'm back here next year for the look back at year 10 of Membership Academy, then you're going to find out how it all went. You're going to hear about all the various new bits and pieces we brought in, why we brought them in, how they were received, what we might have tweaked, and all that sort of stuff. So very exciting times ahead. Lots of work going on. Again, a big part of this, particularly the last few months, have been hectic because when I'm talking about making the roadmap live and all of that, we didn't just want to release the version of the roadmap that we had. We've re-recorded the entire thing for 2025. So it's all fresh. It's all bang up to date with the latest strategies. It incorporates, the various advantages and challenges that AI is brought into the mix. And so it's the most up-to-date, cutting-edge, practical, tactical, useful, and all the other superlatives. The complete course for launching a new membership, and it's completely free, membershiproadmap.com. I'm so excited for this being out into the world. Of course, at the time of recording, it's not yet released, and so I'm hoping that by the time you hear this, that we've been spreading the word far and wide. I've been calling in every favor. I've been begging and not begging, but I've been playing the game and speaking to a lot of people who are going to help us to spread the word and make sure that everybody knows that we are changing the game and that this seismic signature course, this program, is now available for free. And yeah, it's a gamble. It's potentially business suicide because we're giving away our best content, but the big idea is we give away the best content and we create better content. That's the idea. It forces us to up the game. If our freebie is better than the stuff that people charge thousands of dollars for, then man, how good is our paid content going to be? And that's what we're shooting for. So this is a good place to end it. This has been a proper look back on the last year within Membership Academy. I hope you've gained some insight, or at least some entertainment in hearing about how the last 12 months have gone. I am so excited to be reaching this milestone. It still blows my mind that we've been doing this for a decade. How different things were then to now. Oh God, I'm so much older. I'm 42 now. And I know that's not old. I know, 40s are a big, good, positive. Everyone says your 40s are amazing. But hey, I was just in my 30s when I started this. I didn't have a single grey hair. But those have been well earned, and I've loved every minute of this ride, and I can't wait for the next 10 years. Just watch what we're going to do. We are shifting things up in this industry as we kick the membership movement up its butt and take things to a new level. That's it. Thanks so much for your continued support. Thanks for whether you're just a podcast listener and you've never needed to join the Academy. Every second of attention, every little fragment of support, nice comments, feedback, reviews that you give is just appreciated so much more than you can ever know. And I try to express that as much as possible, not just because it sounds good to be grateful, but because I am genuinely grateful for my ability to do something I love and to have been able to do for the last 10 years. And believe me, I still love this and I'm not done yet. I am so excited about what we're going to do next. And I hope you'll stay on that journey with me. That is it from me, capping off Year 9 of Membership Academy as we prepare for a whole new decade. I'm still confused. Is this... have we completed the 9th year and we've just ticked around to 10? I don't know. I can't talk and think at the same time. It's that strange thing, right, about how the year 2000 wasn't actually the end of the millennium. Isn't there something like that? Anyway, I'm going to shut up now because I swear I am intelligent. I'm overheating right now. I've been talking for an hour straight. I'm sure one of you will hit me up on social media at Membership Geeks to give me the much needed clarification. But for whatever it is, I hope you've enjoyed this little look back at the last 12 months of Membership Academy. Look at what we're going to do next. I can't wait to have you on the journey with me. I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this week's episode of the Membership Geeks podcast, we invite you to check out membershipacademy.com. Membership Academy is the original membership about memberships, and it's the essential resource for anyone at any stage of starting, growing, and running a successful online membership business. Whether you're still trying to figure out what your idea is going to be and you need some help making it a reality, or whether your website is already up and running and you're looking for ways to grow and attract new members, then Membership Academy can help you to get to the next level. Not only do you get access to our step-by-step membership roadmap, our extensive training library, and exclusive member-only discount and tools, you'll also become part of our supportive, active community of membership owners that will help you along the way in your journey with feedback, encouragement, and advice. All of this and more make Membership Academy the #1 place to be for anyone looking to start, manage, and grow a successful membership business. Check it out and join the community at membershipacademy.com.